Hello and welcome to today's lecture. Last time we have seen few examples on IR spectroscopy. Today we'll do some UV IR combined problems and then some basic problems which are pertaining to IR spectroscopy. Last time we have left with one example C7H5OCl. So 34 to 33 can be assigned to this. 3129 is for CH stretching frequency, 2200 is for this unsymmetrical alkyne, 1780 is for the saturated acid chloride, 1600, 1560 these are CC double bond stretching frequencies. Now coming to the first example of today's. Okay, so I am cleaning the last time's example, that is the answer. Now C6H8O2. So first of all you have to find out the sites of unsaturation in this molecule. So C6H8, C6H14 minus C6H8. Three sites of unsaturation. Okay, 1780 can be assigned to carbonyl of ester because two oxygens are there, you can think of ester. Alpha D means it is optically active compound. So it must carry a chiral center in it. So three sites of unsaturation. Can think of lactone, one, two, three, four, five, 6 carbons, and then a double bond. The reverse conjugation will take this carbonyl to 1768, and alpha D, this is the chiral center, so that's why alpha D is also there. So this example is from one reference book. The title is steroids, so it is from that book which is given as exercise in that book. Okay. Now the second example, C8H14O, C8H18 minus C8H14. So two sides of unsaturation. Now two sides of unsaturation, if you look at this is carbonyl, this is C double bond C, so it is a conjugated carbonyl compound, and this is the lambda max. We have to put the structure accordingly. So two sides of unsaturation, I will put a template here. Okay, we have got sufficient carbons, so I am putting 8 carbons are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then make it ketone, so that basic lambda max is 215 for this. One extra double bond in conjugation, that is 30. Okay, and now remaining you have to account from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 299 maybe C8H14 or C9H14, I am not very sure, but the structure would be like this. So probably this is C9H14. So three sides of unsaturation, C9H20, where the structure has to be correct. C9H 14. So 3 sides of one saturation, 1, 2, 3, and these are all methyl groups, because we have left with 3 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So 9 carbons are there, and then alpha, beta, gamma, delta, 54 nanometers, it is 299 nanometers. So that is C9, not C8, as it is given in the books, but anyway those are not reference books, so we cannot blame them. C9H14 is correct. 3 sides, 1, 2, 3. Here hydrogens are there. If you write, it's fine. If you don't write, still it is okay. The next example, C13H20O, C13H28. So C13H28, if you look at the parent hydrocarbon C13H20, 8 hydrogens are missing, so 4 sides of unsaturation. Now 4 sides, you can have plenty of option for it. It can be carbonyl and 3 pi bonds, that is one probability. Second is carbonyl plus 2 pi bonds plus ring, second possibility. Third is carbonyl, 2 rings and 1 double bond. So you have to write down the possible structures for these kind of situations. So 1 carbonyl and 3 double bonds, I will just put them in this way. The lambda max constraint is there, that is 254. So alpha, beta, gamma, delta, eta, theta, we have got so many carbons, so chain is not a problem. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 sides can be accounted. 215 plus 30 plus 30. So without considering any substituent, this is going high, so that can be ruled out. So first is ruled out. Now the second possibility, carbonyl, ring and 2 double bonds. Carbonyl, let me put carbonyl outside, carbonyl, 2 double bonds, and of course so many substituents. So 215 alpha, beta, gamma, delta, 30 extended conjugation, 39 homodiene component, 1 alpha, 1 delta, 1 alpha, 1 delta. The summation goes high, so this is also ruled out. Okay, the summation is going very high, so second is also ruled out. So third probability you have to look at. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then remaining I am putting it here. So one side, second side, third side, 4 sides. 4 sides of unsaturations, that is carbonyl, 2 rings and a double bond. And now if you put alpha, beta, there are 2 beta, 1 alpha. So 215 alpha, 2 betas, and then 1 exocyclic bond, that is 254 nanometers. This is exo. If I designate A and B, then this is exo to ring A. So that is not a problem. So 249 plus 5, 254, that is the correct structure. So first of all you have to learn like that, how many possibilities are there, and one by one you can rule out initially. If you are smart enough, you can directly go to third. Now the next example, C5H6O, C5H12, C5H6O. 6 hydrogens are missing, so the sites of unsaturations are going to be 3. So C5H12, I am neglecting oxygen. C5H6, 3 sites of unsaturation. Now 3 sites, once again there are so many possibilities. Carbonyl, 2 carbon-carbon bond, this is first possibility. Second is carbonyl plus 2 rings, that is second possibility. Third is carbonyl, 1 double bond and a alicyclic ring. So we'll work out on all these 3 possibilities, and then only one can match the requirement. Okay, now let us talk about the first one. Carbonyl, okay, 5 carbons, everything is fine. C5H6O, if these two are in conjugation, this is out of conjugation. So this is one of the structure. Second is carbonyl and 2 rings. So for 5 carbons, this is rolled out, this is second one. Third one is carbonyl, a ring and a double bond. 202 because it is 5-membered ketone, and this is very close. So third one is correct option, because third is very close, and that is taking care of 3 sides of unsaturation, 5 carbons, and the lambda max is also coming very close. Even first is also basic values 215, so that can also be taken. Okay, now the different sets of problems are there. So I am going to put the examples first, and then we'll talk about the solution to these examples. How will you follow the course of reactions? Reactions by IR. This question. First one is so this is first example where alkene is becoming alcohol. So let me put the reagents here. H2O in presence of H plus. Here second is acetic anhydride. Straight away we will give you this. Okay, now that is not the question. Question is how to monitor these reactions. So here C double bond C is touching, it will be around 1620. If you look at the IR of starting compound, the moment this becomes alcohol, the OH touching will be seen around 3500. So this peak will vanish, this will appear. That is how it is monitored, and this OH will disappear. And now there will be 2 peaks, one is for carbonyl, one is for, so ester carbonyl saturated is 1735 and this is 1100. So these are the IR spectra of the reactants and products. So initially when this is subjected to hydration, this double bond peak will vanish, OH peak will appear. When it is acylated, OH peak will vanish, this new peak will come. So that is how it is monitored. Second example, there are quite a few examples, but at least few will take today, and maybe next time we can do some more examples. Aniline diazotization, OH, once again esterification. Okay. NH will be 3300, that is the normal region. If it is coupled interaction, you will get two peaks, one is 32, one is 34, but this is standard thing. Now this peak will not be there, so 3300, this peak won't be there. So once this is disappeared, that means it is there. And now this can be done with your normal diazotization process, that is NaNO2 HCl, which forms HNO2 in situ and it forms diazonim salt. In water, if you heat, you will get phenol. Now this OH will be 3500, and when it is esterified, you will get two peaks, as I said earlier, 17. Now this is reverse conjugation, so it will be slightly higher, and this will be around 1100 reciprocal. So you have to know these values where the peaks are going to appear. So you have to know the table wherein the values are given. Maybe next example, benzoic acid, benzoyl chloride. In fact, they are starting with toluene. So let me put toluene first. Toluene, benzoic acid, benzoyl chloride. Then once again esterification. Now this ester is different. This is methyl benzoate. The earlier was phenyl acetate. Now this is dichromate oxidation, K2Cr2O7 H2SO4, that can bring about this oxidation. Thionyl chloride can bring about this transformation, and methanol can bring about this esterification, the nucleophilic displacement. Here you will have Cc of benzene ring, that is very common, so no problem. Here CO of acid will be 1700 and OH of acid will be 25 to 32. This will be broad peak. Acyl chloride, carbonyl will be 1735 something, and CCl is around 1700 reciprocal of centimeters. Here it is once again CO 1715 because it is conjugated ester, and this is 1100 reciprocal of centimeter. So if you look at the values, these are IR values. Here nothing significant is there, so you can neglect that. But from here onwards, you can see that this is acid carbonyl and OH is also there. Carbonyl of acyl chloride, it is conjugated, so slightly less, but CCl is also there, that is clear cut. And then finally the ester is there. Now ester is giving those two peaks. One more we will do and then we will stop for today. Next time we will continue from here. Aldehyde, alcohol, Cl, Cn and NH2. A big sequence, so multiple steps. So first of all, carbonyl of aldehyde and CH of aldehyde, these two will be there. One is 1700, this is 2700, this is 3500, the primary alcohol, this is CCl is 700, Cn is 2250. I am talking about the functional groups. We have to look at the functional group. Benzene ring is common, so that is not a problem. And NH2 is once again. So by looking at functional group, you can monitor the course of reaction. Only thing is you have to look at the IR spectrum of the compound. And naturally, these fundamental mode of frequencies or the stretching modes will give significant peaks, which will help you to monitor the course of reaction by IR spectroscopy. There are some more examples, so maybe next time we'll do some more examples and some application part of IR spectroscopy, and then you have to move to the NMR spectroscopy, the pure NMR problems, combined problems, and so on. Thank you very much for today's attention.